Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football Weekly 11. We'll blow the dust off this podcast due to international break. I'm your host, Tomo, and I'll hand you over to Fletchy. How's things, mate?
No, it's going really well. Sorry to the viewers. Obviously, we missed the international break. We missed last week due to a few technical issues, but we're back now and we're raring to go. Dooley, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's going really well, thanks. I've had a bad week, but I've had a good week in terms of Fernandinho returns. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Nicely freshened up after that, a couple of weeks off, and ready to go for this one.
Yeah, decent. So this is where we discuss all things FPL, as you well know. You can get us at Twitter at FF Weekly. You can also catch us on Facebook now and download this via iTunes as a podcast if it's a little bit easier for you to catch the content that way. So, right, straight into the game week. So we're going to touch on game week 8, aren't we, which is the game week that's just passed. And Kane has just stung everybody, hasn't he? Me included. I hit 36 points, which I was really disappointed with, to be honest. Literally, the whole team flopped apart from Raheem Sterling. I brought Sterling in for Mkhitaryan, and thank goodness I did, because had I have not, I would have been hitting them Irish whiskey bars, to be honest. But Fletch, your team didn't look great on paper, but somehow you just seemed to keep churning out above average scores. How did your game week go?
Yeah, obviously before the game week I had, was it 4 or 5 injuries? I was obviously a lot's changed in 2 weeks because I finally have brought Kane in. I finally took the plunge after seeing that second Huddersfield goal. You know, he's burying it from 25 yards. I thought the boy's got to come in. So I brought him in. Obviously, I captained him as well. I went in with 5 at the back in the end. And I had Josh King on my bench, Carroll on my bench. Obviously, Davis didn't play, so Carroll came in for me. De Gea, obviously, picking up another cleanie. Decided to play him. I hit 55 in the end. Really, really pleased with that. There's not really a lot changed in 2 weeks. Fletchy's winners still flying. And I love it.
Yeah, it's horrible to hear, but unfortunately correct. Dooley, how did you go?
Yeah, I had a very average game week. 39 points, two or 3 points below average. I think my game week was saved by 3 players. An assist from Joe Hart out of nowhere.
That's incredible.
Fernandinho screamer. And Valencia clean sheet, and that's what's keeping me above water this week. I think across the board I had 2 or 3 points apiece, and my defenders did nothing. Pretty bad game week, but I had something from Fernandinho, so at least I had something to cheer about on Saturday.
Yeah, I actually had Jones on the bench. I had him second sub. I'll tell you what, I just didn't see. I know they've been going very well, clean sheets, well, extraordinarily well, but I just saw Liverpool scoring. I had Firmino and Salah. It was like a last chance saloon with Firmino. I was tempted to take him out for Vardy for a -4, so obviously I'm pleased I didn't do that. Vardy also blanked, obviously. And I also had Atsu points on the bench. So I just see, and last week or the week before, I benched Brady's assist. So I feel like I'm, 50-50 decisions. I'm making them all the wrong way, basically. Obviously, Dooley, you brought Vardy in, didn't you? Because I know you brought him in for Rooney the week before. You must have been expecting returns Monday night, weren't you? Sat there with a beer, I assume.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon when Kane was blanking, I was buzzing, thinking, yes, this is my opportunity to make ground on people. But it weren't great at all. And 2 weeks running now, he's blanked. It is worrying. But he's hard to take out. That's the issue I have now. He is likely to score at any time, and if I take him out, I know it's going to bite me on the backside. But yeah, I was sat there, popcorn in hand, beer in hand, ready to go on Monday evening. Yeah, didn't work out at all. But that's fantasy, isn't it?
Well, we was in the pub Saturday, weren't we, watching the football together, and I embarrassingly said to you, you're the only one without Kane captain today, and there was maybe 6 of us there with Kane captain, and I just could only see visions of us celebrating in your face. So obviously that didn't happen. You must have just been you must be thinking this is my week where I gain, and then like you say, Vardy captain, right, that you had on the Monday.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like you say, I was on cloud nine on Saturday afternoon. When Kane's getting dragged off, I was on cloud nine, but then it's bit me on the backside a bit on Monday evening. So yeah, it is what it is. But at least I've not lost too many points by Kane hitting braces.
I saw like someone in our mini league, Bowlesy hit 19 points. There was someone else hit 17 points. I mean, there was some painful scores about, weren't there, Fletch?
Yeah, obviously Bowlesy was there on Saturday as well in the pub, and he was looking very, very low. I think those Budweisers was easing the pain, but strange game week, really. Some real low totals around. Some people obviously hit, like myself, hit 55. Some people hitting 60s, but there was no 80s, 90s around. So, bit of a strange one, really. What's the main topics for tonight then? What are we jumping into?
We've got a lot to get through. City's going to be a massive talking point, but we're going to talk about them a little bit later. We're going to go. I mean, Dooley mentioned via our WhatsApp thread, one of the things he wants to talk about. There's been some massive transfers out this game week for Lukaku and Lacazette. I own Lukaku, Dooley. I think you own Lacazette. And
I own both,
yeah.
Worrying times.
So we're going to discuss that a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised they're taking out both of those players who both have quite nice fixtures this week. But why do you think that is, Dooley? Why do you think people are hitting the exit button for those guys?
Well, Lukaku's a bit of a strange one. Yes, he didn't play great against Liverpool on the weekend. But no United player did. And to be fair, there's a lot of United fans out there that'd be happy to take away a point from Anfield. So the Lukaku one's a bit strange for me. The Lacazette one, having watched the game or watched the highlights, I can see exactly why they're taking Lacazette out. I don't think he was involved in any of the highlights that I saw. He looked very static. It looked like he didn't want to be there. And for the price you're paying, he's a premium striker, and for the price you're paying, you want a lot more than that. I don't think throughout the highlights that he touched the ball, and that's really worrying for Lacazette owners. I think Giroud will start next game, and I think Lacazette might be dropped. It's really worrying times. Lukaku owners, I think you're safe. You got a fixture with Huddersfield coming up. Lacazette. Yes, it's not a great fixture coming up, but I think the week after that you've got Swansea at home. So if you can ride him out for 1 week, you might be all right. But if my heart's on my sleeve, I'm telling you to get rid of Lacazette.
I think if you're thinking he's going to get dropped as well, I mean, it's time to ship. I didn't actually see the Arsenal highlights. So are you thinking that Arsenal assets in general then need to go? Were they just that bad? I know they obviously lost the game.
I don't think they played that badly at times. Watford just turned up like they have done throughout the season so far. I mean, if you've got to pick anyone from an Arsenal side of things, Iwobi, without a doubt, looked the best player on the pitch. Okay, Mertesacker scored the goal, but he shouldn't have been getting there. He was being marked by cleverly, for Christ's sake. So.
Did you see Dini's comments? It made me want to put him in my fantasy team just for those comments. Those alone, I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm big and I'm ugly. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, saying they lack cojones. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. But no.
So have you shipped him then?
Yes, I got rid of Lacazette. I know I said. I know I said that I'd be keeping him all season, and I was seriously thinking about keeping him all season. But having watched the highlights of the last game, you're doing absolutely nothing. And for the price you're paying for that, I need some more returns, because he was just dreadful.
Well, don't say what you've done. We'll get your moves a bit later in the podcast, but that's very, very interesting. Fletch, obviously you shipped Lukaku week before last, didn't you? You think a lot of people are just getting rid of him to maybe facilitate Morata in with a nice home fixture? Do you think it's probably more that rather than Lukaku's lack of form, or do you think it's just a fixture turning? Do you think it's why?
I think the fixture turning. Obviously, I wanted to get Kane in. The only way I could do that was to really take out Lukaku. Like I said previously, I'm not a fan of three big strikers up top, and I'm certainly not going down that road. So I think my reasoning for taking him out was the fact that I'm not going to captain him for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Even against Huddersfield, obviously I've got Morata now, so he's going to be my captain. And with those fixtures changed, that was the reason I shipped him. Didn't fancy him at Liverpool. Again, didn't reduce. Huddersfield, are they going to learn from that Spurs defeat at home? Possibly, you never know. And then obviously he's got Spurs and Chelsea. I think he's going to drop in price before the deadline as well tomorrow. I think he's very, very close. So I'm not surprised people are shipping. And also,
this week, Huddersfield away. Huddersfield's wheels look like they are about to fall off.
I'm not surprised. 11, 6, 7. You can downgrade him, like you said, from Morata. Frees up 1.5. You can then maybe upgrade, defender, a midfielder.
I think a lot of people have looked at that City game and
possibly
pushed that button on Lukaku and gone to a Man City striker. I think that's largely the reason for an exodus on Lukaku this week.
I'm certainly not surprised by it. Obviously, you brought him in for the Palace game, and obviously you've kept him now. Are you keeping him, Tomo?
I'll definitely keep him this week because I've got the same fish to fry with Firmino. Like Firmino has got to go. So so for that reason he stays. But yeah, I mean, even if I didn't have Firmino, I probably would still hang on to Lukaku this week away at Huddersfield because I think there's at least a goal there for him. I actually think a lot of people will captain him also because I don't think that will come to City, but I don't think it's obvious who's the standout City player to captain this week. No, they're in great form, but you could easily get it wrong, like go Jesus and he doesn't even start, for example. So for that reason, I think Lukaku's a really, really valid captain option. I think he's currently my vice. We'll come to that a bit later, but I reckon a lot of people will captain him this week. Do you, Dooley?
Yeah. Has he blanked this season? Yeah, I think he's blanked 1 game, hasn't he? Or 2 games last week, and then I think
the missed penalty week.
Yeah, was it Leicester?
Yeah.
He's blanked twice, so yeah, he's not free scoring every single game, but he's chipping in points. He's doing a lot more than others, the Vardys and the Rooneys. So who are you really going to replace Lukaku with? If you're like me and you've got Lukaku and Lacazette, which one are you going to get rid of first? It's certainly not going to be Lukaku, that's for sure. Against Huddersfield, you're going to press that button on Lacazette. So. It's a strange week to get rid of Lukaku. It really is. I can get behind people getting rid of Lukaku after the Huddersfield game, but this one, it's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, I mean, just to we'll stay on United, changing the subject slightly. Obviously, these defensive returns just keep coming, don't they? I mean, like I say, I in error bench Jones. A lot of people would have got those Jones points. Some even got him off the bench, I think, when Davis didn't play. You've got De Gea, Fletch, and their fixtures now would suggest that you should be looking to avoid United defensive returns, but it just doesn't seem to matter who they play. They just don't give up a lot of chances at all. It's a real Mourinho side now, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking of shipping De Gea a couple of weeks ago, obviously with this fixture shift, but I think I'm just going to keep De Gea all season now. He's up to 5-6. I would think if these cleanies carry on, you've got to fancy them for 1 at Huddersfield, haven't you? De Gea could be 5-7, so I think he's just in for the season now. To be honest, if those fixtures, obviously with the Spurs and Chelsea game, if they didn't have them, then I'd be looking at Jones now myself for a double up, but I'm not going to do that right now. I know their fixtures then change again in game week 12. I think they've got Newcastle at home and someone else at home. So, but like I said before we come on air, I'd be quite comfortable paying 5-5 for Jones. So I'm not desperate to get him in right now, but obviously I've got De Gea, so if people are going in with no United defensive cover, then maybe a Jones in this week. Why not? I know he's already gone up in price now, so he's 5-3, but you've had him most of the season, haven't you?
Yeah, I brought him in on my wild card. I started the season with Valencia, but that shift just made complete sense to free up some cash, obviously. And, Jones has just been relentless ever since and always on a 75% knock, but just seems to play. So, Mourinho is just keeping him in cotton wool, isn't he, during the week, and then just, getting him fit for the game, which is, it's nice for owners, to be honest, because he is such a nice value. although, you know, I think a lot of people now will be looking for maybe a defensive move. Not maybe Jones, they probably would hang on, but Davis is injured now, isn't he? He's highly owned. I know you own Davis as well.
Yeah.
Fletch, is there any value in defence at the moment? Because I think a lot of people might be eyeing up a defensive move this week. You know, around the 5 mil bracket or 5.5 mil bracket. What are you looking at?
Well, I've had defensive problems for the last, God knows, 4 or 5 weeks, and I've just left it. And I think I've got quite lucky, to be honest, with likes of Yoshida. Trippier's played in the Prem and done all right. Davis has done all right, but obviously Rose is back now. It's a tough one. I think Davis was ill, so you know it's not like it's a major injury. For me personally, I'm just going to wait for Poch's press tomorrow and find out exactly what's happening. But replacements for him, I'm not seeing a lot myself. I quite like Cresswell at 5. I think there's a Mawson wave at 5 mil as well, even though obviously he's more expensive.
Mawson hit like 5 goals last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's yet to get off the mark this season, so you know you've got to think that something's coming at some point. That Swansea and West Ham have some really decent fixtures coming up as well, don't they? If you are looking for value.
Yeah, before obviously the Chelsea game midweek, I was possibly looking at a Chelsea defender, but I've been put off by that. Obviously, you've got Alonso still. Are you keeping?
It really depends what I'm going to do with Firmino, because obviously Alonso is my easiest route to free up a bit of cash, and I'm really eyeing up Aguero this week, and I would need to raise another, I think 0.9 I need to raise, so it would give me a budget of around the 6 mil mark, I think, to change Alonso. And I have to be honest, I'm strongly considering it. I just want something out of the press conference with Pep tomorrow to indicate that Aguero is starting. If there's any word that he's fit and he's ready or something like that, I'm pulling the plug. It's a -4. Alonso goes, and I think I'll do it, to be honest. If it's unsure, there's no one else that I would take a -4 for, and as a result, I would probably hold on to him. They've got a nice fixture this week. I know Watford are in good form, but at home, I'd expect a response. You know, they lost against Palace, drew midweek. I think there's some form of response coming this weekend, especially with Morata hopefully starting.
Yeah, definitely. I think Alonso's worth keeping now. I know he's, you know, a bit bad form, but there's got to be attacking returns coming at some point. I'd love to bring him in, but I just can't, because it's gonna cost a minus for me. So
to be fair, I think
bring him in.
Admittedly, Alonso's not getting the clean sheet at the weekend, but he should have got an assist. Really, he was really unlucky not to get an assist. I can't remember who missed that, but he set up a lovely ball and should have got the assist from that.
There must be an Alonso wave coming with those fixtures coming up.
They just conceded 2 against Palace that couldn't hit a barn door, and without Kante, Kante in there, they are looking very, very frail. I'm shocked you're saying that you'd bring Alonso in at this point.
Yeah, because you don't have Alonso for clean sheets, do you? You have him for attacking returns, don't you?
Yeah, but then you are really relying on them attacking returns, which aren't coming. Is it? Unless you just got it.
Well, to ship him for a -4, I think would be staggering with Watford at home. Personally,
with Batshuayi.
If Aguero's starting, it's worth it. I'd captain Aguero as well, so therefore it could be doubly worth it if he was starting. I wouldn't do it in any other circumstance. I have to be honest.
Well, yes, it's certainly a bold move, and maybe it's those sort of moves you need in your position right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I hope that Aguero would be a bit of a differential. Depends on
it's a nice move in.
Pep's comments, but remains to be seen. What would you be doing, Dooley, if you had a Chelsea defender at the moment? Would you be sitting tight and riding it out?
Yeah, I've got Alonso, and I'm not pushing that panic button on Alonso. I think he's doing all right. He's not got the clean sheet last week, but like I said, he weren't too far away from assist. And with Batshuayi up top, how many goals are you expecting or assists are you expecting from Alonso? But Morata comes back next week, doesn't he, Kev?
Yeah, he played against Roma, played 90.
So there you go. I think the assists that will be coming, and I don't think you should be getting rid of your Chelsea defence at the moment. I mean, if you've got Cahill, I think you need a knock on the head, to be fair, because he was poor against Palace. I think he's largely the reason why Palace scored 2 goals, other than Zaha actually playing really well for once.
The thing with
I think Alonso's fine.
The thing with Cahill, when Chelsea get into the trenches, Cahill normally pops up with a header. So, you never know. You'd probably rule him out now, and he'll probably hit you back with a 14-point game week coming up.
That's true. That's true. Get Cahill while you can.
Dooley, you just brought up the next talking point because you mentioned a man beginning with Z. Zaha absolutely put himself on FPL radars, didn't he, at the weekend? Have they turned the corner, Palace, would you say, Dools? And would you be looking at a Zaha? What's your thoughts? I was so shocked at that result.
Yeah, well, I think the whole world was, wouldn't they? I have no idea what to think of Palace at the moment. If you're ignoring the last 7 games before that, you're not going anywhere near a Palace player at the moment. But Zaha comes back and look what happens. It's a real strange one because Zaha and Townsend played up top, didn't they? And they're not out and out strikers at all, but they bossed Chelsea like Palace were the big boys rather than Chelsea. It was a really strange one, but like I said, I think it's largely due to Chelsea frailties and Palace actually playing well. I have Loftus-Cheek in my side. I'm happy to keep him. Obviously, he wasn't playing at the weekend because he's playing against his parent club. I'm happy to keep. I wouldn't be dropping all my cards and bringing in a Palace player this
I had a little look at your side before we came on, and I noticed you got a little Tadic in there stinking the place up.
Love it, scouting his side.
Yeah, you'd far rather have Zaha in place at the moment, wouldn't you, than Tadic? What's your thoughts on Tadic at the moment? Are you holding him? Is he a punt that's just not come off? What's going on?
Well, Tadic is gone. I said bye to him last night.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Sound like you're making some decent moves, Dilly, in there, but we don't know who's coming in at the moment. So
the problem I have
is it Rooney in for Lacazette?
No, the thing is, the problem I have is that I've had really nice fixtures, and the players that I've kept hold of haven't done it. Tadic has had some lovely fixtures, hasn't done it. Vardy's had some lovely fixtures and hasn't done it. So I think I've been picking my players well, but I'm holding on to them too long when they haven't been picking up points. That's the problem. They've had nice fixtures and I've kept them and they haven't scored. And at the end of the day, scoring points is all that matters in FPL. So maybe now it's the time to hit the button a little bit and get some transfers going. So yeah, but Tadic has gone as well as Lacazette this week.
That little mirage that you just did there is like my head constantly just reassuring myself I've been unlucky. Yeah, I've been unlucky. I'm doing the right thing.
I keep hearing these excuses.
I don't think I've been. By no means. I don't think I've been unlucky. It's just not.
That Alonso was unlucky. That 59-minute sub. Oh, yeah, that's still haunting me. That, to be honest. Fletch wanted to move on to another guy that put himself on serious FPL radars at the weekend. He's now got back-to-back 3-point bonuses, I believe. That's Hammy Abraham at Swansea at the price. Swansea, another nice home fixture this week, and then their home fixtures are noted. They've got Leicester at home, Brighton at home, Bournemouth at home, and West Brom at home, all in the next 4. Don't know if you'd look to play him away from home potentially, but would you advise people to be jumping on him? His price surely will rise.
Yeah, possibly. If you're looking to maybe raise money, if you've got a first striker not doing it, then yeah, he's certainly a lovely downgrade. For me personally, it feels like it's a little bit chasing that brace. But if he was to pop up again on Saturday, then who knows? Could be a really nice move for people, but me personally, I'm not really looking at him. Not sure how many. Obviously, Huddersfield, the wheels have fallen off. Just not sure Swansea have got that many goals in them. So yeah, at the price he's worthy, but me personally, I'm not looking.
What about you, Dooley? Would you be looking at him?
He's on radars. I think he's on a lot of people's radars, but his next 2 fixtures aren't very nice at all. And had he not scored that brace at the weekend, you wouldn't be anywhere near him for the next 2 fixtures.
They've got Leicester at home, Arsenal away. Arsenal looking tatters. Yeah. I don't know if it is. Is that tricky?
Yeah, you're not going to bring in a Swansea striker against Arsenal. That's the thing.
Leicester don't leak goals either, do they?
No,
they don't leak.
I mean, fair enough. If you're getting on Abraham against Brighton, then fine. But I don't think you should be bringing him in against Leicester and Arsenal.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking at him hard, as we would say. Yeah, because it's a downgrade from Firmino, and I can use that money to upgrade a Brady to a Silver or something like that.
Was you looking at Abraham last week?
No. No. Brace completely turned my head, I have to be honest.
So you're chasing that Brace. I
was looking for. There's no one other than. Yeah, there is no one who's less money than Firmino. This worthy. You know, I would have arguably said Vardy 2 weeks ago, but right now, would I bring his scrawny face into my side? Probably.
I'm going to throw a name at you. Tomo. He's cheaper than Abraham. Diouf. Lovely fixtures. Played well at the weekend. Yes, his team got smashed, but he's picking up points while they're getting smashed. I think he's a great shout.
He's versatile, though, and he's using him at bloody right back at times, isn't he? Like, that would worry me.
Yeah, but Stoke's fixtures coming up, they're lovely. So
I've also got Choupo-Moting, so I can't have Choupo-Moting and Diouf in there, can I? You know what I mean? My team's struggling as it is without doubling up on a Stoke attack. My word. I mean, I'd love to know. There must be still people knocking around with it. This Firmino feels like this, this little thing that I can't shake. To be honest, it's just attached to me. So I need to do something this week to get a shot. I think I'm maybe forcing it with the Abraham one, but it just feels like a worthy shout without taking a hit, possibly. But I don't know. I'll come to that a little bit later in detail. So what we need to discuss is Manchester City. Obviously, they smashed Stoke that we're just talking about now, 7-2. And they're just looking like FPL gold, aren't they, Fletcher? I mean, they look like they're going to break goal-scoring records this season, the way they're going. Do you think it's all going to die down, similar to how it did last year? They won their first 6 games last year and then died down. Or do you think people need to be jumping on with a double up, treble up? What are you doing?
Well, I hope it does die down because it'll be boring if they've won it by March. It's a tough one. I had a bit of a nightmare because I took out Jesus when Aguero was firing and then he had the car crash. So I had a nightmare. And then I put in Morata. We know what happened there. So I bought in Sane last week for Ali, which obviously I was happy with the returns. I put in Sane thinking that Aguero would be out for 3-4 weeks. And obviously he's come back. It sounds like he's going to be back this weekend, which is not good news for Sane and even Sterling owners.
I've got a question for you. How do you interpret the fact he's been an unused sub in the last 2 games? So how would you interpret that in terms of the likelihood of minutes at the weekend? What would your prediction be?
My prediction would be that he will pick the same team. I think from listening to his press conference against Napoli, he's so impressed with the way City are playing currently with Sane and Sterling that I think he'll go in with that again. Could be wrong because it's very hard to predict, Pep, but I think he likes this Sane, Jesus, Sterling.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because you would have expected him to get some minutes midweek, wouldn't you? I know they was sort of like they was seeing the victory out in the end, weren't they? So maybe it wasn't a priority sub for him. But I was really shocked he didn't get a few minutes. The fact he didn't worries me for the weekend. But like you say, you never know with him. He might just be holding him back for Burnley, mightn't he?
Possibly, yeah. Me personally, I wouldn't be looking to double or treble right now. I still think it's just a minefield still. Obviously, I've got Sane, so I'm not going to take him out. But I'm not too happy with that move long term right now. So obviously, I've still got the wild card. So I think I'll just leave Sane in there right now for the moment, and then when I've got more information over the next few weeks, I'm going to look to probably bring in an Aguero or maybe Jesus again, possibly.
It's very disciplined from you, and you've got in the position you are, I think, through that style of management. You've not doubled up on a team, like attacking wise, I've noticed. You've always kept one cover for your higher scoring teams. Even when Liverpool were going through that great phase prior to the Man City battering, when everybody was doubling up on Firmino and Salah, particularly with wildcards. I think this could be the week that catches you out, to be honest, because I think a lot of people will double up and treble up on City. And if they're hitting Burnley for 4s and 5s, it could really hurt you. And I hope it does, obviously. Dooley, do you think it will hurt him, or do you think or have you got a similar sort of approach?
The problem is that City have...
Who's your City cover?
It's Fernandinho, right?
You've got no cover. I still stand by that. To be honest, that goal's keeping you afloat. To be honest,
the thing is that goal's been coming.
You lucky boy.
I've been saying that since
yeah.
put Fernandinho in. It has been coming.
His next goal's coming next season.
That might be very true. The thing is with City is that they've won by more than 5 goals in the last 3 games. Is that right?
They've scored 29 goals in 8 games, which is a record since 1894.
That's history. Yeah, that's the problem.
And there was no crossbars in 1894, so that just shows you the sort of goals they're scoring right now. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's a real strange one. They're hitting people for 5s, 6s, 7s, and no Aguero involved. It's scary. And when Sterling's starting to prove why he's worth 50 million, it really is scary. If you're not a Man City fan.
Yeah, it's like you're obviously looking to double up, possibly, Tomo. But obviously Sterling's a nice price. But if you were to try and get, a De Bruyne and a striker, that's tough. Even, Sane's 8-3 and a striker. It's not easy to facilitate that, is it? It's not something I'd be looking to do.
A lot of people have already got David Silva, haven't they? They've had him in place for a while. And if they've jumped on a Sterling or a Sane recently, then they might now only be looking to bring in a Jesus or an Aguero. And I think a lot of people might go hunting that move because it gives them a really good captain option this week as well. I think it could, other than last week where everybody, or other than you, Dooley, everybody went Kane captain. I think this week will be a real mixed bag of captains. Do you think, Dooley?
No, I think it'll be very City week for captains. I think people will look at last week and just hit the put the captain armband on one of the City boys. I don't think people will think too hard about that at all.
Who can you trust in City though? You can punt, like they're all punts, but who's the standout City captain in this week? Are you thinking Jesus? If you had Jesus in place,
I think if you're looking at City captains, you're looking at Jesus and Sterling. I think they're the two. If you're going to put a captain armband on somebody,
Sterling getting pulled off on 68. I think it was midweek is nice because you've got to assume he's getting a good run.
Yeah.
Him. Very bold.
It would be bold, but look at his returns in the last few weeks. You can't argue with what his total is at the moment.
So, can you or would you manoeuvre another City player in this weekend, like to go alongside your Fernandinho? Would you look to treble up on a City attack at this point, or are you waiting also?
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, I'll tell you what I've done. I've trebled up on City.
Here we go. Come on then.
I bought in Sterling. I think he's a great price and his returns.
He's looking class, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah,
he's looking a real deal.
The worry is with Sterling is when he gets a break, and he will get a break at some point. But while he's scoring, Pep's not stupid and he'll keep him playing. So I'm not too worried about Sterling at the moment. Of course, my next transfer is a bit worrying. I've bought in Aguero. Now the reason I bought in Aguero. The reason I've bought in Aguero is because I want him in there for when he's fit. I don't want a headache of having to think, right, I need to get Aguero in now. And at some point, people are going to jump on Aguero and his price is going to rise. So that's another reason for me to get him in.
Is that a minus?
Yeah, I'm -4 this week.
Did you have a good bit of cash in the bank then? Because if you've done Tadic to Sterling, that's a mil upgrade, and then
Tadic to Sterling, Lacazette to Aguero, and let me just pull up my team.
So basically, Dooley's just done everything I said don't do, basically.
But that's the beauty of this game, isn't it? That's the beauty of this game, because I'm more on your side, Dooley. I really am. I mean, how can you not be, to be honest?
To be honest, he's made those moves, and I'm thinking, they're top moves, to be fair.
The problem with the Aguero one is just how well City are playing without him. And Pep's not one to bring somebody in just because of their name. If he's playing well... But like we said previously, who do you not select? All of their attacking midfielders.
Drop Sane out of there.
You need that pace of Sane to get in behind Burnley. I'd tell you that for nothing.
Sane was making some great runs at the weekend.
Sane's phenomenal.
He's a class act. Yeah, he's a class act. But
that's the problem with Aguero
for him.
But the thing with Burnley is, you can see from the away games already, 1-0 at Spurs, 1-0 at Liverpool. They ain't no mugs, Burnley. They might get done 2 or 3, but I don't see 4 or 5. Don't see it. They're set up so well.
Exactly free scoring at the moment, though, are they?
They smashed Arsenal 4-0.
Well, that's Arsenal.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
They just lost to Watford. So.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Decent move. So, what, Aguero captain?
It'd be straight armband on Aguero. The only problem is does he start?
So, if Aguero isn't your captain, who's your captain?
I'll be looking at Sterling.
So, you think Sterling's nailed, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I think he's other than.
I'm sure he's nailed. Do you not think? Just playing devil's advocate, do you not think, obviously he scored the goal, but do you not think he might have got taken off early because Pep wasn't happy with him?
Nah, they got League Cup midweek after this weekend. League Cup's where he reins in the changes, of course. Like,
I think
Sterling, Sane nailed on, in my opinion. You're talking Jesus or Aguero up top. You've got to imagine. So, Dooley, that is risky though, to bring in Aguero and not captain him. That will hurt, won't it? If he's hitting 2 or 3 and you've not captained him.
The thing is, how many people are bringing in Aguero this week? If I bring in Aguero and captain him also, and he doesn't play, that hurts me even more. So I'm quite happy to have Aguero when people don't have him, and captain somebody else. So yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with having Aguero but not captaining him. Obviously, in future, he's pretty much captain material all the time. But right now, when he's not 100%, I don't know whether he's 100%. We haven't seen him yet, have we? So it's a really risky transfer, and hopefully it pays off. But who knows?
I think the only thing that would put me off the double up and the treble up is not obviously their form, because they're just unbelievable at the moment. But they're playing every 3 days, aren't they now, with the League Cup, Champions League, and obviously league commitments. It's inevitable they're all going to get rotated. And I guess it's just a case of taking the rough with the smooth. But if you've got 3 of them in there, you could get burnt. Most weeks, at least one of the 3 might not start or whatever, or get pulled off. I think that's probably the only big negative to doubling up and trebling up. You can't see this form falling off like it did last season. They just look too fresh. They look too sharp and too hungry. They look like having a lot of fun as well. It must be awesome playing in that side at the moment. I just wish I'd have seen that 7-2, because that would have made that bar in Norwich just that little bit more jumping, to be honest. Decent bold moves, Dooley, to be fair. Fletch, I just want to go back to one point, because we sort of scanned over him and didn't really talk about it. Morata, you've got him in the side, haven't you? And obviously you mentioned you got sort of burnt with the Jesus hokey cokey, and now you've got Morata in there. Could be a big differential punt for you at the weekend. Would you consider putting the armband on him?
Well, I'd rather have him than Aguero.
Would you really?
Yes, I would. I think he's a top price. If he's back fit now, look what he's already produced this season. Our fixtures are good. I think Morata, he's looking like my captain. I think at the price, I'm surprised you're not looking yourself.
It's just because I just love Sergio Aguero so much. I'd love him to be that 3rd spot for me. I've got Kane and Lukaku, and I'm probably holding them for now. Aguero just looks better next to them 2 for me, and I've got Alonso.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit different because I've got a wild card, so I maybe don't need to plan so much. If you know what I mean. Like, if I didn't have a wild card, would I have took out Lukaku? Probably not. I probably would have kept him. So I'm making maybe more short-term moves, possibly.
Where does your gut feeling tell you that you'll be playing your wild card? Are you already looking at a point of the season where it will get laid?
I wouldn't rule out game week 12 or 13. I think there's a real fixture shift then. But if my squad keeps standing up to the way it's doing now, then I could use it pre-Christmas time. Possibly.
Yeah, fair play.
I think with the Morata thing, with Morata, I think Morata without a doubt starts. He's a nailed-on starter next week, next game week. Batshuayi was dreadful. He looked even worse than Lacazette at the weekend.
That's why he's finished off on 57. chucked his bib. He's gone. He's finished.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you should be anywhere other than. Obviously, I've gone to Aguero, but obviously that's because I want to be on Aguero, potentially for the rest of the season. But if you're looking at a transfer in, Morata's great.
I think even though we're leaking goals, we're always going to score goals. Even in that City game before Morata went off injured, even that movement of his, he's just got great movement. Watford, okay, they're playing well, but they do concede chances. Look at the chance Ozil missed last weekend. Morata, you could be hitting braces. Really fancy the boy.
Interesting one.
And also Hazard. I know he's. Great. If people have got any spare cash, obviously he's on pens. Could be really nice.
It could be lovely
this weekend.
Yeah, it'd be very bold if anyone went the Hazard route at the moment with all these City mid options. But if you've already got a little double up on City, and you're ahead of the game on that one, then I can see what you're thinking.
So Morata will not be entering your side, Tomo, this week?
No, I don't think he will. I think the two routes that I'm looking at are a downgrade to Abraham, and I don't believe that's then a long-term move. I just feel like it's maybe a short-term move for the next 2 or 3 weeks until Aguero shows a bit of form and is guaranteed for the minutes, and then I'll bring Aguero in. Or just bite the bullet, do what Duty's done, and take a -4, downgrade Alonso. I'm then struggling really for who I can put in for Alonso. There's no defenders jumping out at me, to be honest. That's the problem. If there was someone that was like, right, definitely it would be them that I'll bring in, but there's not, to be honest. I'd be really hunting the defender, which is not always a nice position to be in, to be honest. Especially taking a -4. Right now, my gut feeling is to take the -4 though. My gut feeling is it's -4. Aguero's in my team, and I would captain him. I would have to captain him, and I would have to pray that Pep starts him, because I couldn't not captain him and see him go and hit a hattie or something. I'd probably be pressing delete buttons, to be honest, if that happened.
If you're following Dooley's moves, then I certainly fear for you right now.
Well, listen, we're quite cozy in there at the moment, aren't we, Dooley? There's not much between us, to be honest. We're both doing equally as average as each other, to be honest.
The thing is, I might have made some wild moves this week, but I know it, in the back of my head that I've got that wild card still to play. So I might, Aguero might turn out to be dreadful. Sterling might not play, and my other transfer might be terrible, but I've got that wild card to fall back on, so that's the reason I'm making the moves this week that I have.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that, and I think also Aguero has a habit of catching people by surprise, didn't he? He did it earlier in the season away at Watford, and he could easily do it this weekend, especially if Pep's a little bit non-committal in his press conference. Could be another catching non-owners by surprise. I would be captaining though, Dooley. I don't want to talk about it again, but I reckon you would be absolutely. You probably turn your phone off for about 2 weeks, and Ghost Ship would go a missing. Lights would be off and everything, I reckon.
It could hurt, but it could be really nice as well. I don't know. If he'd have played some minutes midweek, he'd have been my captain this weekend. My only doubt is that he hasn't had any minutes yet, and that's the reason I wouldn't captain him.
Fair play. So anyway, I touched on the fact that there's a fag paper between me and you, Dooley. Just looking at the FF Weekly, so our mini league basically for our podcast. Top score this week is a Glenn Thomas. I don't know him personally. His team name's called Red Demons, and he hit 66 points. He had Sterling and Jesus. He actually brought Jesus in for Morata. He captained Kane and still hit 66 points. So it just goes to show what the rest of his team did. He also had Joe Hart as well, so he had a nice little haul from him. So fair play to him. He's actually only 23rd though in the FF Weekly League, a fraction above me. I'm in 24th, and Doody, you are sat in 25th, I believe. No, you're sat in 19th. Sorry, and unfortunately, top of the tree for another week is Fletchy's winners. Congratulations, Fletchy. How do you feel?
No, I feel good. I'm on top of every league I'm in at the moment. So, I feel like this week...
Where are you in the world at the moment? Where are you in the world?
I'm 12,000 right now with a wild card in hand. I couldn't really ask for any more, to be honest. But I'm due a stink at some point. It simply has to happen. So maybe Morata off on 60. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I'm looking at. Are we talking about moves now? Moves, captains?
Yeah, go ahead. I think me and Dooley have sort of gone over what we're thinking. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking. The big decisions for me this week is if to play Gross away at West Ham or if to play Carroll at home to Leicester. Because obviously Carroll returned last week. He was certainly due something. Gross obviously returned another assist, ticking along nicely for me, but away from home. Obviously scored again, got the assist against Bournemouth, but he gets hauled off pretty early. So that's sort of the selection issue. I'm keeping Josh King. I know I haven't mentioned him, but I'm keeping Josh King long term now.
They've actually got some nice fixtures though coming up.
Yeah, Stoke maybe not, but even Defoe got dropped this week. I think King's number one now. I think he's nailed in there, either in the hole or as a main striker. So yeah, he's staying my first striker currently. And potential moves would be possibly Davis out. And like I say, I'm looking at possibly a Mawson, possibly a Cresswell if I don't play Gross, but more than likely no moves for me.
It sounds, to be honest, you must be still very, very happy with your side, because it sounds like you could easily just not make a move, really, listening to that. It's nice to have Gross involved on a Friday night, though, right? To have the first game and it's someone involved.
Yeah, I just don't really fancy too much in that game, but yeah, West Ham are not great at home, so it could be just a set piece. Little 6 points would be a nice start to the game week, but yeah, it's a tough decision, but. Yeah, I'm not going into this game week feeling that confident, to be honest. If I can hit around the average mark, I think I'll be pretty pleased, to be honest, because I don't think I'm set up that well.
Yeah, sure. Well, you could the position you're in, you could take a stink and still be up there. So it's a nice position you've got yourself in. Obviously, it's worth mentioning that the deadline is Friday night. So for anyone that's overlooked that, make sure you're really getting your moves in, done by Friday afternoon. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast. Just
a quick point, because I don't think we've obviously touched on Kane a little bit at the start, but if you don't bring in Aguero, is he going to be your captain again?
No, I would captain Lukaku away at Huddersfield. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. To be honest, we did just breeze over that point, didn't we? But I now have, like everybody, lost faith in Kane at home. Like, I still think he's worthy away from home, but I just, my nerves couldn't take it having another Kane blank at home. Obviously, I captained him against Swansea blank, Bournemouth blank. No, I couldn't do another one blank, to be honest. So I think Lukaku's not a bad shout this week, to be honest. Even if I did bring in another City, I'm looking at Lukaku. I think there's at least one, if not two goals there for him. Yeah,
definitely. Why not?
Yeah, so very, very, very well. To be honest, these Galactico boys, they need something. I tell you, we need to get it going. Yeah, I feel like I'm just hitting average points every single week. I never really hit too much below. I never really hit too much above. So it could be a lot worse. I know some people are considerably worse off than me. I'm 50 points, I believe, off the top 10s in the FF Weekly. And I can take that sort of a cushion on the chin. The one that's worrying me, Fletch, you're now 100 points ahead of me, I believe. And that's a sizable cushion at this point of the season, especially as you got wildcard intact. So I need a little bit of a wheel to fall off, I think, in these winners' camp over the next couple of weeks. And I'll have some prayer beads out next to the bed. It starts this weekend, basically. That's for sure.
Yeah. We'll see. Dooley, I think your moves are decent, so I think you should be rising. You should be rising.
I haven't mentioned one of my. Well, obviously, I made 3 transfers this week. I've taken out Dele Alli. I've taken out Dele Alli this week.
For
Fabregas.
Another nice move.
Yeah, I messaged you earlier asking how long Kante's out for, and that's the reasoning.
Trying to get a bit of information from these winners. So I like it.
The thing is that Ali's he's only had one real return in the last 5 weeks, and with the next 2 fixtures, I'm not really expecting a lot from him. So while I can get an attacking City player in there. Sorry, an attacking Chelsea player in there. I might as well. And while Kante's out, Fabregas is going to start, isn't he? So for the next couple of weeks, yeah, Fabregas, you're my man. So it's Fabregas, Aguero, Sterling in this week for Tadic, Ali, and Lacazette.
So 2-3 and obviously a -4.
2-3 and then the -4. Yeah.
Yeah, some top moves, I think.
What's Fabregas's ownership? Must be 3 or 4%, mustn't it? I haven't looked at it for a long time.
I've got it. It's 5.6.
5. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a really nice differential, to be honest.
Yeah, only 16,000 people bringing him in this week, which I think is a bit of a strange one. 2 really nice fixtures coming up. Obviously, Kante's nowhere near playing, so I think it's a really nice transfer, and he's only 6.9 as well. So yeah,
So
fair play. Sorry.
yeah. So is there any way of you getting Aguero without taking out Alonso? You wouldn't consider taking out Lukaku for Aguero, considering he's going to drop in price.
Too late now, isn't it?
Have you looked at Southampton defenders?
Van Dijk?
Yeah, Southampton have got some really nice fixtures. I don't know whether you can jump from Alonso to a Southampton defender.
5-5 possibly. No, to be honest, I was looking at Cresswell to facilitate it.
Yeah, he's looking for that.
I would like Carroll to be in there for Cresswell because he's so good.
Yeah.
Crossing the ball.
Yeah.
They got some nice fixtures though. If I had to do it tonight, it would be Cresswell out. I think Cresswell in. Sorry for Alonso. Yeah, to facilitate Aguero. Dooley, sorry, I just wanted to say if the deadline was tonight, you'd be captaining Sterling, would you?
Yeah, it'd be Sterling. Sterling or Lukaku would be my 2 captains. The reason I wouldn't pick Lukaku is just because he's not done a lot over the last couple of weeks. So fantasy football proves that if you go with people with form, then it's usually all right. So if I was forced to make a captain right now, it'd be Sterling.
You're making me want to stick my armband on Sterling. That form comment is a really, really valid one. You're right. Yeah, it's normal form over fixtures. Yeah, fair play. Right then, so we've got Twitter, FF Weekly. Go and follow us there. Facebook, we've got a page that we'd like you to like, and obviously subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as I mentioned at the start, we are on iTunes. Dooley, the tech whiz, has got us on there, so you can listen to our podcast while you're driving around or taking the dog for a walk. It's a good option. Let's have some feedback. What comments have you've got to pose to us for next week? It's always good when we get some questions on there. And anyone that's up the top near Fletch, because to be honest, I don't know you personally. I can't reel your names off now because I haven't got the league in front of me. But if you listen to the podcast, let's get you on. Let's get you some comments on there, and maybe let's get you on the show. I'd love a rival. I'd love a rival involved for you, Fletch. Unfortunately, it can't be me at the moment. But you're sitting so comfy up there at the moment. Honestly, it's got to stop. So if you're anywhere near Fletchy up the top, let's get you commenting and let's get you on here because someone's got to derail this boy. I'm telling you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Right, cheers then, guys, and good luck for the game week. Make sure you get your moves in before tomorrow night, and we'll speak to you Tuesday or Wednesday, most likely, next week.
Good stuff, boys.